Remember, boys and girls, we were looking at computer hardware the other day. And for those who are not in, we said that a computer is divided, computer systems, actually, we have two categories as far as computers are concerned. We have the computer hardware and the computer software. Computer hardware and computer software. Now, talking of computer hardware, we said that these are the physical parts of a computer that are tangible. Computer hardware, these are the physical parts of a computer that are tangible. And these physical parts, they make up computer hardware. These physical parts, they make up computer hardware. We went ahead and said that this computer hardware is divided into four categories. Computer hardware is divided into four categories. Computer hardware, Wamarwa, don't want to see that? Computer hardware is divided into four categories. Computer hardware is divided into four categories. You talk of number one category, we have what we call the central processing unit. We talked of the central processing unit. We went ahead and said that we have what we call the input devices. This is the second category of computer hardware. And these input devices, they are simply devices that are used to key in data, or these are components that are used to key in data or type in data into a computer system. We have the subcategories of input devices. We talked of what we call, we talked of the keying devices. They are used to key in. The keying devices, they are used to key in. We have the pointing devices. They are used to point. We have the scanning devices. We have the voice input devices. We have the touch screen, the digitizer, and the digital cameras. These are the subcategories of computer input devices. Then from the input devices, we talked of output devices. We talked of output devices, and they have the following subcategories. We have the soft copy output devices, and we have the hard copy output devices. So these are the two subcategories of computer output devices. We have soft copy and hard copy. And then lastly, we have what we call the storage devices. And these storage devices, they are also subcategorized into two. We have fixed storage and we have removable storage. So this is a summary of what you are expecting in computer hardware as far as this substrand is concerned. Now, tomorrow, I don't want to ask anybody to define for me computer hardware, and you're like, what is that? I don't want to ask somebody to give me the categories of computer hardware, and you cannot even mention one. Then boys and girls, we went ahead and broke down the categories so that we could look at one at a time. And we were starting with what we refer to as the input devices. Now here, input devices. We even gave the functions of these input devices and their examples, functions of computer hardware, input devices. Now, we said that input devices, input devices are used to enter data and instructions into the computer. They are used to enter data and instructions into the computer. And some of the examples we have around. Swiney, read for me one example from what you can be able to see. Swiney.
Mouse, keyboard, touchpad, joystick, scanner, camera, microphone, and stylus.
Our stylus is a pencil like the one I'm using to scroll on the screen. That one could be an example of a structure like stylus. used mostly with the touch screen devices. So all these, they are examples of input devices. Of course, you know the mouse, you know the keyboard, the touchpad like that one found on the laptop, or that one found on smartphones when you want to type and a pop-up keyboard comes up. That one's a touchpad. We have a joystick, a device used for playing and controlling computer games. We have a scanner, a digital device used to convert analog characters and images into digital form that a computer can understand. Then we have the camera. Of course, everybody's video is on, so we can be able to see each other via the camera, and that one becomes an input. It inputs your image into the digital form so that I can be able to see it from this side. Then we have the microphone. All of you, you can be able to hear me very loud and clear. It is because of the microphone that is connected to your device. Those are input devices. Then we went ahead and discussed about the CPU, the central processing unit, Now, with the central processing unit, we said that it processes data entered into the computer according to the instructions given. For example, you can be telling your computer to assist you calculate 2 times 2. So for you to get 4, that one is a task that has been made possible by the help of the CPU. Now, this CPU, it acts like the brain of the computer. This CPU, it is the brain of the computer, and it is also called the processor. So another name for the central processing unit, you can refer to it as the processor. So somebody can ask you, what is the brain of the computer? You simply tell them the central processing unit or the processor is what we refer to as the brain of the computer. Why do we refer to it as the brain? Because most of the tasks, many activities, they first take place in the CPU before you get results. Maybe you want to play a game. You are loading a game on your computer system. Let's say you are loading FIFA, you are loading PES, you are loading GTA, Grand Theft Regency. For the game to load and start, it should first of all go to the CPU so that it can give directions on how the game is going to load. Now, this CPU is divided into 3 categories. It is divided into 3. That's why we are saying it is made up of the arithmetic and the logic unit. In most cases, the ALU, it is used to do comparisons like greater than, like less than. It is doing arithmetic activities and arithmetic problems. For example, multiplication, addition, subtraction, division. It is done in the arithmetic and the logic unit. It is normally for comparisons. Now we have the control unit, which controls all the processes that enters that are to be done in a computer. And we have the registers, the ones that stores the processed instructions. Remember, we said that the CPU, it is a component of the computer hardware that is used to give instructions and process them according to how the instructions are given. Let's say I had opened a browser, maybe Opera Mini or Chrome. Then again, I minimize, I go back, I open a game, I minimize, I go back and open something, maybe a Word document, an Excel sheet, or I want to work on something else. So all these processes, their activities, they are being controlled by the control unit, a component of the central processing unit. So you should know that the CPU is divided into 3, the arithmetic and logic unit, the control unit, and the registers. Then we have what we refer to as the output devices. We have what we refer to as the output devices. Now, with output devices, what you should know is that, as the name suggests, output. It is the opposite of input. Input used for typing and keying in data to the computer system. Output, these are devices that are used to give out information from the computer. That's why you refer to them as output, from the word out, information. So you get output devices. Examples, we have like the monitor. From your end, you can be able to see my screen, the one I'm projecting, through the screens you are using. If you are using a computer, if you are using a laptop, if you are using your phone, you can be able to see this screen. So the screen or the monitor is an example of an output device. Of course, that one is soft copy output. We have the speakers. You can be able to hear me loud and clear through your headphones, through your earphones, through your earbuds, and through your normal speakers. And speaker is an example of a soft copy output device. Then we have plotters. These are advanced large printers used for printing things like banners, billboards, and big posters, the plotter. Then we have headphones. Of course, you all know headphones, another example of an output device for outputting sound. We have projector for outputting images and sound at the same time. Then lastly, we have printer as another example of an output. This one is a hard copy output device. This one is a soft copy output device. Remember, we said that output devices, they are categorized into two. Boys and girls, you should know of soft copy output, hard copy output. Hard copy means it is tangible and you can be able to see and touch with your eyes. Soft copy means you cannot be able to touch, you can only be able to see, like sound, pictures, and what have you. So examples of soft copy output devices, it is the monitor, the speakers, the headphones, and the projector. This one is soft copy output. Now, a hard copy output, we have printers and plotters. Printers and plotters. Then lastly, we talk of the storage devices. Storage devices. Storage devices. Now, with the storage devices, boys and girls, they are used to store data and information, just as the name suggests. Storage. So, storage, store. Storage, store. They are used to store data and information. They save data, they save information, and computer softwares and running operations. So that is the work of storage devices. And you should remember that we had said that these storage devices, they are these storage devices, they are categorized. We have what we call fixed storage devices, and at the same time, we have what we call removable storage devices. Now, boys and girls, when it comes to fixed is something that you cannot move, like the hard disk. This one is fixed in the system unit. You cannot be able to remove it from the system unit. Then another example of fixed storage, you only have one, the hard disk, which is normally found in the computer system, but all the others are removable storage devices. So we have fixed storage devices, as we had said, that computer storage devices is divided into two. We have the fixed storage devices and we have the removable storage devices. Now, with the fixed storage, we are giving an example of the computer hard disk, which is the only fixed storage device, the common one. Then we have now the removable ones, the one that you can move with them around the computer lab. You can move it from one place to another, the likes of a flash disk. A flash disk is an example of a removable storage device. This one is removable. We have a memory card. This one is removable. And we have external hard disk. We have external hard disk. So you should be knowing the categories. Output, they are categorized into two: soft copy output and hard copy output. Storage devices, they are also categorized into two: fixed storage and removable storage. Removable storage. Unless somebody has a question up to that point for the uses and functions of various computer hardware categories. So computer hardware is divided into four. You first of all talk of the input devices. You talk of the central processing unit. You talk of the output devices and the storage devices. Now, categories of input devices. Categories of input devices. We had said that input devices, they are used to enter data. They are used to enter data into the computer. They are used to enter data into the computer. And these input devices, they have been categorized. So I want to give you 5 minutes, boys and girls. You put the categories down, then we can explain as we continue. So you start from here. The categories are as follows. Or do you have them? Had we written this down? Victoria, had we written this down?
Yes.
Donata, had you written this one down? Now, let me see by show of hands, how many have not written this one down? Categories of input devices. Let me see by a show of hands, so that you can be able to put it down. Now, for those who have not written, I can see Donata. So, for, another one. So, if you have not written this, let me give you 2-3 minutes. You write down as I explain through categories of input devices. Now, we have what we call pointing devices, pointing input devices, pointing input devices. They control the pointer or the cursor on the screen. You see, like when I am selecting, I am highlighting items on the screen. I am using my pointing device, in this case, which is the mouse. In this case, which is the mouse. So, pointing input devices are used to control or a cursor the screen. They are used to control or point a cursor on the screen. Examples, we have mouse, touchpads, joystick, light pen, mice, and trackballs. Now, trackballs, these are a special type of mouse found on advanced keyboards. They are like a small ball, so you have to scroll. You have to scroll it. It is normally located in between the keys of the keyboard on an advanced laptop. Then number two, of course, we have what we call keying, from the word key. So keying input devices, boys and girls, keying input devices, they help us. They help us in entering data by pressing the keys on them. They help us in entering data by pressing keys on them. And examples of these categories of keying input devices, we have what we refer to as the keyboard is an example of a keying device, the keypad, and television remotes. At home, everybody knows a remote. That remote has a keypad. That keypad, you use it when changing channels, adjusting volume, scrolling through other settings of your television. So a keyboard, a keypad, and television remotes are examples of keying input devices. Number three, we have the category called scanning input devices. Scanning input devices. Scanning input devices. Sean. Sean. Sean,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm good, and you?
I am fine. Huh?
Yes,
What am I talking about?
scanning input devices.
Scanning input devices, correct. We are saying they capture data directly from the source and convert it into the form a computer can understand. Now, when they are capturing data, this data is in analog form. Analog means a form that the computer cannot understand, but only you, human, can understand. Now, when you go into a cyber, you want to send maybe a photo, maybe a certificate, or maybe any other thing to somebody who is far away, you have to scan it first. You store in your computer and send it maybe over your WhatsApp, over email, or any other means. Now, that process, we call it scanning, converting analog data into digital so that the computer can understand. And this one is done by scanning input devices. We have the categories or the examples of this group. We have examples like the barcode readers. When you are in a supermarket paying for your items, you have seen your items being scanned at the EPOS, electronic point of sale, where the cashier sits in the supermarket. That one is called EPOS, electronic point of sale. So they will scan like tip, tip, tip as you get the prices. That one is barcode readers. We have optical character readers, you guys, you have watched high-tech movies, and maybe somebody, or even in the current generation in town, you need to enter a certain building. you have to provide your card so that you can swipe and it helps you to open the door. So they have on them optical characters that are read by special scanners for you to get access. We have optical mark readers like the ones used to mark CAPSEA, KCP, score sheets. Usually we have A, we have a B, we have C, we have D. Then maybe you had selected B as your answer. So what the optical mark reader does, it has to identify this mark that has been struck on B. So it gives you a tick or it gives you a wrong. So we have optical mark readers. We have magnetic strip reader, like those ones found on ATM cards. If you check the ATM behind it, we have a black strip. That one we call it the magnetic strip. Now, these ones, they are also used to store information about persons, so that for you to access your account at the bank, you need to swap the magnetic strip against the ATM machine for you maybe to be able to withdraw or deposit some cash. So those ones are scanning input devices. Then we go ahead and look at what we call voice input devices. Now, with the voice input devices, boys and girls, they enter data and instructions into a computer in form of speech, Like right now, I am talking through my microphone connected on my earphone or my headphone so that you can be able to get me from the other side. That one is an example of a voice input. When I call on somebody, for example, let me check on Noah. Hey, Noah. Noah? Noah, unmute yourself and talk. Noah.
Yes,
Hey, how are you?
I'm fine.
Can you be able to hear me?
Yes,
Yeah. So that one, it is voice input. From my end, I'm using a microphone. From his end, Noah is using a microphone. So in between, when the voice reaches from the one end to another, it is from analog form to digital, then to analog, and then I can be able to hear you. So an example of voice input is the microphone, is the best of the best there is about voice input, microphone. Microphone is an example of a voice input. Then next, we have this category called the touchscreen input devices. Touchscreen input devices, or you can simply say the touchpads, touchscreen. Touchscreen input device, this one, they enter data into a device by touching the screen that have electronic keyboards such as touchscreen keypads. So touchscreen input devices, they enter data into a device by touching the screens that have electronic keyboards such as touchscreen keypads. A good example is the smartphones. The phones that you use, they have a touch screen input. So for you to type, you should first of all touch on the screen. It launches the keypad, then you can be able to type. We call that one touch screen input. Of course, we also have some other touch screen laptops. We have other touch screen laptops. We have even smart televisions that are touch screen. So you just touch and it gives you the pop-up for inputting. Then, boys and girls, we have what we call the digitizers. The digitizers, they are also called graphic tables or drawing tablets. Digitizers, they are also called graphic tables or tablets. They are also called graphic tables or drawing tablets. Now, they convert analog touch input into digital signals that the device processor can understand. For example, you have been to a bank, you have been to Huduma Center, you have been to, let's say, in the post office. We have specific devices that they'll give you and tell you, please give us your feedback, rate us. So you can either write on the tablet or you can draw on the tablet by signing your signature there. They convert analog touch input into digital. Now, these digitizers, they allow you They allow you to input drawings, sketches, and handwritten notes into a computer. So we refer to them as digitizers. And for you to be able to write on a digitizer, you should have a stylus or a pen-like instrument. A stylus or a pen-like instrument that you use to draw or write on the digitizer. If you go to the bank mostly and Huduma centers, these devices are there. Then lastly, we have what we call gaming controllers as another example of input devices. Gaming controllers. Now, these ones, for the lovers of the computer games, the likes of PES, the likes of Dream League, the likes of FIFA. Now, for the girls, let's use maybe smartphone Android games, likes of Candy Crush, the likes of we have this one that normally you run in the forest, Temple Run. Those are games. So for you to do these games, you need a gaming controller. And for you to play in a computer, they are used when playing computer games. For example, joystick and steering wheel are good examples of gaming controllers. They assist when somebody is playing computer games. We have the joystick and the steering wheel. Then we have visual and imaging devices. Visual to mean eyesight, imaging to mean picture. So they include the digital camera, they have image scanners, and the video recorder, what we normally call the camcorders. If you have been on TikTok and you have seen people do TikTok videos, they usually use visual and imaging devices like the digital camera. Of course, most smartphones have digital cameras. They can be able to take an image and record a video. That's why people take photos, they record videos and post them on social media. A smartphone is an example of a good visual and imaging device. So boys and girls, allow me take you through very fast the pictorial representation of these devices, how they look like, and what they are. Now, starting with the pointing devices, we had talked of the mouse. This one is the mouse. This one is the mouse. Can you be able to see the mouse? This one is the mouse. So you scroll through this point here, the ball. Then this one is the touchpad, like that one found on a laptop. So we refer to this one as touchpad. This one is the joystick. This is how it looks like. It is used for playing and controlling computer games. That one is the joystick. And then we have this one here, what we refer to as the light pen. Light pen can also be used in the same way as a stylus. You use to write on a flat surface, mostly the digitizers. So these are light pen, and it is used with the digitizers. Then we have this the trackball. You see the ball here at the top, the one you roll as you control the mouse on your computer. Trackball. It is just used the same way as a mouse, only that now this one is a ball. You have to track the cursor on the screen for you to be able to move from one location to another. Then we have the keyboard. Of course, you know the keyboard, all of you, and you should be able to know the parts and the functions of the keys found on the keyboard. Functions and the parts of the keys found on the keyboard. This one was taught in grade 7. Then we have this one, keypads, like when you want to do 1, 2, 3 up to 9. See, it has 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like that keypad of a Katululu phone, or the keypad that pops up when you are using your smartphone. Then we have the touch screen keypads. You have to touch on your screen, then the keypad pops up. So touch screen keypads. You touch the screen, then the keypad pops up. Then this is the remote, of course. You all know remotes. Even some of you have them right now, only that after the class, boom, you are back to watching with your remote. This one is the barcode reader, used to capture data directly from the source and convert it into a form that the computer can understand. I had given you an example of that used at the supermarket when paying for items. So this one is the barcode reader. This one is the optical character reader. And I was giving you an example like that one used for marking CAPSEA, CASHEA, and KCP, sorry, KCP mark sheet and the mark sheet, because normally you are written them like A, B, C, D. So if this is correct, you use this one here to read this one as the correct answer. So optical character, optical character, optical character, optical character reader, optical character reader. So you say used to capture data directly from the source and convert it into the form the computer can understand. We have the magnetic ink character reader. This one. Now, when you are at the bank, when you are in the supermarket, where you are doing any sales, any payments, you are given a receipt. That receipt is normally produced by a magnetic ink character reader, like the type of Epson printer. This one. In school, you are given school receipts, school fees receipts. Those receipts, they have been produced by magnetic ink character readers. Then lastly, we have optical mark reader. You see this one, the same way as the other one, used for marking answer sheets for CAPSEA, for KCP. So you just enter it from this side, then it scans through as it marks the answer sheets. Then we have the magnetic strip reader. This one, the same way your ATM looks like. So you have to swipe. You swipe. This one is the magnetic strip reader. You swipe. It's not the same as this one. This one is the optical mark. In optical mark reader or MR, this one is magnetic strip reader, MSR, magnetic strip reader. So don't confuse. Don't confuse. The magnetic strip reader, the optical mark reader, the magnetic ink character reader, magnetic ink character reader, the optical character reader, and the barcode reader, the barcode reader, the barcode reader. Then this one is the microphone. Of course, you speak from here, you connect this one to your computer, then you input the voice and somebody can be able to hear from the other side. They enter data and instructions into a computer in form of speech, in form of speech, in form of speech. Now, unless there is a question, tomorrow we shall be looking at factors to consider when selecting an input device. For you to know that, you need a microphone. You need this type of magnetic ink character reader. You need a magnetic, you need an optical character reader. You need a barcode reader. You need a television remote. What should you consider? What do you look at? So that is what we'll be looking at tomorrow, unless somebody has a question. And please remember to do and complete your assignments on the Google Classroom so that they can be able to be marked and returned in good time. Pauline? Pauline?
Yes.
Morning.
Morning.
Do you have any question about input devices?
No.
Perpetua,
Yes,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine. Have you understood?
Yeah.
Patience,
Yes.
are you okay?
Yeah.
Great. So let's meet in tomorrow's class. And for now, let me bid you a goodbye and have a good day ahead. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Okay.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.